everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the first ever Birmingham Startup Summit. On behalf of Jonathan and myself, first of all, I just want to say thank you for being here. We've got an absolutely incredible day planned. We're thrilled about today. Got a great lineup of speakers. But we've also got a lot of things to accomplish today, so we say we go ahead and just get right into things. It's my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies who's going to be guiding us through this journey today. May please welcome Jeremy Carter.
Thanks, Doug. I'm really excited to be here as well. I'm excited about how many people are in this audience and who care about startups here in Birmingham, Alabama. I truly believe, after looking at the whole schedule that we've got, that today can be a game changer for those who make the most of it. So as we walk throughout the day, there's basically two components that you need to pay attention to. The first is obviously everything that happens up here on stage. You're going to hear from a variety of founders who are going to share their personal stories with you. You're going to get practical market-tested advice, as well as pitfalls to avoid. So I want to challenge you in that regard to take advantage of that. Take notes, absorb all the wisdom that you're going to hear from these people. In addition to that, at the end, we will have a panel discussion, so there'll be an opportunity for you to ask your questions. Jot those down throughout the day. You can also use the hashtag Startup Summit if you want to put your questions on Twitter, and we'll be sure to get to those. The second component you need to pay attention to is all of the folks that are in this audience right here. There are about 120 or so odd folks who had to apply to be in this room. So for one, it's a huge honor for you, I would say. The second is, I think that a lot of times entrepreneurs is portrayed as lone rangers, as cowboys who have a crazy idea, they go out to the market and they just make it happen. But the truth is, we know that great startups are just great teams. They're teams of people who are on a mission together and out to accomplish something bigger than themselves. So the fact that you have 120 people around you who have a similar ambition at some level, whether they're looking to be a co-founder, or they're a programmer, or they just like the idea of working for a startup, you need to get to know them. We're going to have opportunities for coffee breaks, we'll break for lunch, we have startup drinks afterwards at the end, so you have lots of opportunities to get to know the people here. I think all the attendees have blue badges, speakers have orange badges. Get to know them as well, that's what they're here for, is to get to know you and to share their experiences with you. So anyway, as we look out at the entrepreneurial landscape of the country, we hear from a variety of different cities. We hear about markets over and over, like Silicon Valley, the Bay Area. We hear about Boston, MIT, Harvard, New York. These are cities that continually come up. And I think the reason that happens is because of the entrepreneurial ecosystem that they have in place. I'm sure you've heard that word over and over again. But they've done a good job of hosting events like this, greater access to capital, access to growth resources, and so that's what our first speaker is going to talk about. I want to steal his thunder. His name is David Gray. He's the CEO of a company called Daxko. They're a software and services provider for member-based nonprofits like the YMCA. Aside from being an outstanding guy, he is extremely passionate about startups. So please help me in welcoming Mr. David Gray.
Good morning. And Jeremy just started my clock, so they have us on a strict timer today. But I wanted to welcome you guys to the first ever Startup Summit. This is exciting to see this many people in the room. I think we're going to get more trickling in throughout the morning. I wanted to thank first and foremost our co-founders of this event, Jonathan Sides and Tony Somerville. I know an immense amount of work went into pulling this thing off. A lot of nerves and anxiety around doing this for the first time, so I applaud them at having this kind of response, and we thank them for doing it. I'd also like to thank all of our sponsors who made this an event that is free to all of us to attend as well. And I'd like to thank Jeremy Carter for that introduction, as well as for being the Master of Ceremonies at today's event. So, as Jeremy said, I'm David Gray. I'm the CEO at Daxko, and I love Birmingham, and I love entrepreneurship. And I'm really excited about what today has in tail for us. If you're like me and you've been infected by this bug and you can't imagine doing anything else but dreaming up new ideas and the thrill of taking the risk to bring those ideas to life, building teams and cultures focused on growth, and witnessing the customers and communities that are impacted on what you've built. This is what we're excited about as entrepreneurs. Living in the world of startups and growth businesses is exhilarating, it's challenging, and it's oftentimes anxiety-filled. But there is no better career choice, in my opinion, than the life of a startup. So that's what we're here about today. It's convincing you of the same thing. It's providing you the inspiration and the ideas to make your dreams come a reality. So make the most of your opportunity that today represents. Listen attentively, ask questions, engage actively, make connections, get motivated, and most importantly, do something. Of all the advice you're going to hear today, and all the valuable ideas you're going to get from these founders who speak throughout the day, none of it's going to matter if you don't have the confidence and the willingness and the determination to get out there and do something. Entrepreneurship is an action sport. Success won't come to you, you have to go get it. And that's, again, what today is all about. Further, Jonathan and Tony have done a great job of creating, very deliberately, a local event. This is not simply an educational session about how to start a company, but it is geared specifically towards getting people inspired to create and grow businesses here in our local community, which is critical. So why start a business in Birmingham? There's some obvious advantages to running a business here. First, we're surrounded by some quality universities. We have Sanford and Birmingham Southern and UAB and nearby Alabama and Auburn. We also have a very livable city, a nice low cost of living. Therefore, we have lower labor costs than some of the cities that we would compete against. And being a mid-sized city, we have a network of professionals and entrepreneurs and startups you can actually kind of get your arms around. It's small enough that you get to know the people that you need to know. It's not always the case in some larger areas. But beyond those more obvious advantages, there needs to be a strong startup ecosystem in order for companies to spawn and to grow and to become successful. And so that ecosystem needs a certain flow or rhythm to it, and there needs to be a necessary entrepreneurial density as well. And so I believe both of those things exist here in Birmingham. There's some, to that point, we have plenty of successful entrepreneurs that have blazed the trail and are willing to act as mentors to people who are getting businesses started. Several of those people are speaking here today. That's why they're taking time out of their day to do this. There's also plenty of opportunities in our startup community to congregate and share ideas, whether it's in a formal structured setting like the Birmingham Venture Club luncheons or a more grassroots kind of informal casual setting like startup drinks. There's lots of opportunities to meet and network and share ideas with other startup people. We also have one of the best incubators, tech incubators in the entire country in the Innovation Depot. And so if you haven't done so already, I would strongly encourage you guys to go down there and take a tour and really feel the energy and excitement that place creates in our startup ecosystem. Additionally, we're already in its 9th year. The Entrepreneurial Accelerator Program has become really a local institution within our ecosystem and has become an invaluable tool for those who are just getting their businesses started. In fact, many of today's speakers are graduates of the program, myself included. I was in the 2nd class back in 2005. For those who have the name tag on, you'll see an indication, a yellow band at the bottom that we're graduates. So I encourage you during breaks, if you have any interest in getting in the EAP program, stop one of those people during a coffee or lunch break and ask them what their experience was like. I think you'll be impressed with what they have to say. We also have successful companies that are very willing and motivated to play a part in the success of other earlier stage companies. For example, CTS that has provided flexible workspace for startup businesses in their building. To Isotope 11 that has created a really innovative accelerator program. And there are many other examples like that. And there are other companies that have spent a lot of time and effort developing the type of culture that drives an entrepreneurial spirit. So examples of this is MedMind and their alumni who have either started or led 6 or 7 different companies in Birmingham after they left that company. And at Daxko, we've spawned or had people leave to start as many as 5 businesses. Those are things that happen because if you create the right type of entrepreneurial spirit and attract the right types of people, It'll generate new businesses. And that type of environment is critical. And we have to support those spun out companies through advice and guidance to ensure that they get to a certain level of success as well. And that's critical to creating that startup density that I talked about before. It has, a multiplying effect within our community, and it really does create that vibrant startup ecosystem. So with all this going for us, we really have to take advantage of what Birmingham has to offer to us. Apply for the EAP program. Find a mentor, or for that matter, find several mentors to help you. Compete in the Alabama Launchpad. Present at the Birmingham Angel Network. Get out and meet people at the Venture Club Luncheon or at a Tech Mixer put on by Tech Birmingham, or come to the startup drinks every month. Share your big idea at TEDx Birmingham. Vie for a spot for the Isotope 11's Incubate Bang program, or move your venture over to Innovation Depot. There's so many opportunities. Whatever you do, do something. Don't stand still. So today is all about providing you with the confidence and the reassurance that you can do it, and you can do it here in our beloved Birmingham. This inspiration won't be coming via some out-of-town entrepreneur success story or bringing in some outside so-called expert or renowned author. But instead, you're going to be hearing from those that have done it and are still doing it here right in Birmingham. You'll hear from people that have launched their businesses in dorm rooms or received a jolt of adrenaline from the Y Combinator. People who bootstrapped their business, maxed out their credit cards, begged their family and friends for startup cash. You'll hear from others that have raised institutional capital. In fact, you'll hear from some that have actually been so successful that they are now on the institutional investor side. Some that have co-founded their enterprise with a longtime friend, and others that have decided to go it alone. You'll hear from founders who in aggregate have generated thousands of jobs in the Birmingham area and have created millions of dollars in valuation, hundreds of millions of dollars in valuation, and others that are much earlier in their life cycle. But what do these people, these founders, have in common? There's several things. First is they have a deep passion for what they do, and they've got an ability to convince others to buy into that dream. They're willing to step up when those around them tell them that their idea is a real long shot. They've all failed multiple times, but fortunately they have a short memory and move forward when others would have thrown in the towel. They have an abnormally high amount of determination, perseverance, and grit, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. And lucky for us, they're eager to share what they've learned because they love the game of entrepreneurship, and they want to encourage you to get in the game. I'm confident that today will prove to be a fun and unique and highly valuable experience, and I hope it proves to be the spark of inspiration that plays some small role in the success of Birmingham's next great startup. So thank you and enjoy.